Hello there, Ray here, and today, guys, I'm going to show you the simplest iron farms. If you guys have seen the snapshot review video, you'll see that they have went ahead and buffed the iron golem spawns, and they also changed the stuff to do with the villagers to make it a little easier. So everything you see underneath me is actually a simple iron farm. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All there is 3 villagers, and they're getting scared by this zombie, and these villagers are actually summoning an iron golem, which is spawned up here on top of this block here. And as soon as he spawns in, he's immediately killed by this lava source, which is over here. Then his items are dropped and they're picked up by this hopper minecart, which puts them into this hopper and then into this chest over here. Thanks to the guys at the Monkeys Discord, including Example and Wootex, for helping figure out how the villagers work. But the 3 villagers have to be able to see the zombie over here. And the villagers also have to be within range of a spot to summon in an iron golem. An iron golem will summon it on top of a solid block, and it seems that he needs to have some air blocks above him. Otherwise, he won't spawn. Because I tried putting lava directly inside of there, and no iron golems were spawning. We also wanted to make sure that he can't spawn on any of the other pieces, so these are all bottom slabs, and he's looking for a solid top to spawn on. They also don't spawn on hoppers or like soul sand. Now this design, since there's only one spawning spot, sometimes it does fail. Because typically when the villagers are panicking like this with a zombie there, they'll try to summon in an iron golem every 30 seconds. But sometimes they will search the area, and they actually search a pretty good area and consistently. The majority of the time you will get iron golem here, but there is some chances that it will fail. It also seems that they don't try to summon in a new iron golem until 30 seconds after the old one has been completely killed. It takes about a little over 15 seconds to kill this iron golem, so about every 45 seconds they'll try to summon in an iron golem up here. But as you can see, this is relatively easy to build up. I have these guys in the air so these guys don't try to walk off. The zombie here, he won't try to walk across the corner here to get to these guys. And now that they changed the bug for mobs to try to path find through corners, the villagers won't kind of move around inside their square. They'll stay relatively center. So you put down a villager and you make sure he's a little bit far away so that the zombie won't reach him. You shouldn't have to worry about him getting shoved off, but you can always build walls around it. You can see I just went ahead and cleared it out. We already got almost half a stack worth of iron. In the background there, you see actually they upgraded the old design. So this is with the single spawning floor with the lava in the center. I moved the villagers from above to underneath so that the lightning wouldn't strike them. Here's our villagers underneath here. And you can kind of see how I spaced 3 of them out. You could put them all in one pen, except they kind of bump into each other because they're panicking and they're trying to run back and forth. But you can see this one also produces a lot of iron. This one's actually a bit more efficient than that one because of all the spawning area here, it never fails. So after that iron golem dies, 30 seconds later, a new iron golem will spawn in, and the water will just move him towards the center, and then he'll go underneath this lava blade, and then once he dies, this hopper will pick up his loot, and then underneath here I got a chest which will pick up all the iron as well as poppies, and I just put a poppy sorter in here so you can go ahead and sort out the poppies, put them right into a composter, and that can convert it over into bone meal. This is actually probably one of the best ways to get bone meal, as if you build up this iron farm in your spawn chunks, it can run 24/7 on a server. This will allow you to get bone meal all that time. That means you'll be getting bone meal at the same time you'll be getting iron. It doesn't even have to be anybody online. Now these villager heroes also have ability to see this zombie over here, and that's why they're panicking. This is what's causing the iron golem to spawn more frequently. I also put some buttons on top of these trap doors just to prevent fire from starting fires on top of here every once in a while, although these will not burn. You can see this design is really simple to build up as well. We just got some spawning floors here, and we got some water sources on the edges, and I got a single water source right here as well as over there. And there was another iron golem that just spawned in. And this whole thing is 17 by 17 worth of water. And since our iron golems are like 2 by 2, we won't have to worry about them getting stuck in like spots like this where there is just stopped water, because they'll always be touching some other spot which will move them that direction. I went ahead and removed those corners since iron golems aren't spawning inside of solid blocks anymore. The hardest part about this is just getting the villagers as well as the zombie. You can give him an item or you can name him, just so he doesn't despawn. I went ahead and put this whole thing in the sky because it's just a little easier to show off. You can put this down at ground level, as long as you don't have mobs going inside of where the iron golem is at, or have any mobs that can kill these villagers here. The way that the item filter works here is that only poppies are able to go into this filter down below. And then once they do go past this hopper, they'll be able to go down into the composter, which will fill up with the poppies. So it's going to take a little over 10 poppies to make 1 bone meal, which is actually pretty decent because over time you'll get quite a bit of poppies from the iron golem. So for every 40 ingots that you get from this iron farm, you're going to get 1 bone meal out of it. So it's a really nice passive way to gain a bunch of bone meal. Now you can take this design and you can multiply it. You can put as many of these as you want beside each other. Now you can also stack these farms vertically, just to make sure that the villagers or at least 14 blocks away from the next villagers. So they changed quite a bit about iron farms, and we can pull up Fax's data pack. So if we do function, and we'll do brain add all, so you can see all their information above their heads right here. So this is going to tell them their home, this is where the bed's at, this is where their job site is, and this is where their meeting point is. Now before, all this stuff was kind of important to get an iron golem to spawn, but they don't need a home, so they don't need a bed, they don't need a job site, which is those workstations. They don't need a meeting point, which is kind of where they go to gossip. It can also be like a bell. So if we turn on the gossip for golems, you see that they don't really have any gossip for golems anymore. Essentially what this data pack is doing is showing just select information from the villagers here. And here you can see like the brain and its memories. This is where it keeps track of like its bed, its workstation, and its meeting point. Now they still can get like damage, and they can still have like negativity towards a player. So if we look at this villager's data now, you see he gained some minor negativity. His value is currently 25. And when we hit that villager, you see he did gain gossip, and it has the minor negative. You see these guys aren't talking about summoning in golems. They just do it automatically. And this makes iron farms significantly simpler, as we don't have to worry about them making sure that they get to bed, making sure that they go to work, making sure that they go to their meeting point, because that seemed to be where the large amount of problems were occurring. Guys weren't being able to find their workstations. Like when the workstations are really close to them, there's a bug where they're unable to find them because essentially they can't pathfind to them. This was causing a lot of problems to do with the iron farms as well as villagers. Not only can you add the brain tag, you can also come in here and also add in some other tags. Like you can add in all the main stats. So if I just do that one, you'll see not only are they given like their home, job site, as well as meeting point, but we also got another one here that shows their health, age, as well as the last time they restock. This can be really useful for testing a lot of things, not only like iron farms, but also villager breeders, as well as crop farms, and like villager trading systems. You can see like the last time they restocked, and seeing if they're actually getting to their workstation to refresh their stock. Just really good whenever you're working with villagers to use this data pack. This is made by Fax, and I'll put the link down in the description. He updated it too, so you can also see the different colors so that they don't all blend together. You can kind of tell which information is going to which villager. Now you see this design also works with the villagers above, and we have a zombie there, and they can see the zombie and they're panicking, and it's causing iron golems to spawn. And these villagers, they can have iron golems spawn 7 blocks underneath of them. So this is the highest you can have your villagers for them to still spawn iron golems down here. Otherwise, then they'll try to spawn them up here if they can. This is all bottom slabs, so no iron golems will spawn on top of here. But they were also spawning iron golems on top of these trap doors, so you have to put some type of block on top there so they won't try to spawn there. But it's better to have the villagers underneath. That way, when it lightnings, the lightning will never be able to convert the villagers over, since they're being protected by that top piece there. But up here, they could get struck by lightning. So on average, the villagers are going to try to summon an iron golem every 30 seconds. But if there is an iron golem here, then they're going to wait until it's dead before trying to wait 30 seconds to summon in a new one. It takes about 15 seconds for the iron golem to die in the lava. This means it's going to take about 45 seconds for every iron golem to spawn in the setup here. That will give you around 320 iron ingots per hour. Now you could make it a little more efficient if the iron golems were immediately dropped out of this, where you'd have to drop them down and then kill them so that they're no longer in range of the villagers. Now this design over here is even more simple, as you can see, with just a single spawning space, but it's also less efficient because the iron golems can fail to find this single spawning space, and then therefore it'll just kind of skip it and then try all over again to summon a new one. So this one has about half the rates of that one over here. But if you want to just build something really simple, you can build this up. It doesn't have to be in the air, but then you just have to make sure to enclose these villagers so they can't walk off. Nice thing about this smaller one here is that you can easily hide this. So like if you want to hide this in the ground, you can easily do that. You can just have a nice little iron golem farm producing iron. No one would even know about it. If you want to go something for a little bit more long term, you go with this design over here, which has a big spawning space, so it's 100% efficient at spawning in the iron golems. Now you can also go ahead and put a bunch of these designs side by side. That will also increase your rates, or you can stack them. And having this design here that pulls items and puts them into a composter, that's just optional. You could just have everything go into a chest. And when I was working on those iron farms, I also seen a wandering villager down here that was running around like super fast. And I'll show you the clip of it. I think it's kind of glitched out or something. I'm not sure exactly what he was running from. I also noticed some other wonkiness to do with like the F5 mode. So if I relog, kind of when it loads these chunks, you'll kind of see that my player's head kind of resets very quickly. See, I'm turned to the side like that, and then I rotate this direction. I don't really know what's going on with that. I didn't notice it with other modes, but when I was in F5, I did notice that. And it seems like it also caused another iron golem to spawn. Currently, the rates of the farm are pretty darn good, and building these is not difficult at all. You don't have to try to figure out all the tough stuff to do with the villagers sleeping, going to their workstation, and going to their meeting points. I think that's the way the iron farms should be. They shouldn't make them too complicated, but they might go ahead and nerf the rates because currently it seems pretty darn fast for the iron golems to constantly be spawning. So it's most likely in the next snapshot they will change this a little bit, but I hope they don't change it by making it kind of complicated with all the sleeping and workstation stuff, because that seems to be the main problem when it came to the leg. What also might happen is that they'll just leave them at this speed, and since they're so fast, people will just not make as big as iron golem farms, because essentially this will give you a lot of iron ingots. It will be interesting to see how iron golems change before the full release of 1.14.3. If it could actually get villagers to be more stable, like finding their beds, their workstations, and their meeting points, then I don't think it'd be so bad making iron golem farms. But in the past, as you've seen in the previous iron golem farm video that I did, there was just so many problems with them. It wasn't something that you could easily do. But this new mechanic of the villagers being able to call iron golems very quickly is really cool to do with raids. So say a raid comes, they hurry call a bunch of iron golems to come and help you, and the iron golems are helping them kill off the raiders. And then if iron golem would happen to die, then they could easily call in another one to continue helping. And I think this is kind of what they needed for raids, because before raids were extremely overpowered, and essentially they could, with a single raid, could actually destroy an entire village if the player didn't step in to help them. There you have it, guys. Some very simple iron farm designs. These will give you tons of iron for all your survival worlds. Be sure to go ahead and check out Wootex as well as Example. I'll link their channels down in the description for helping me design these farms. And if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to go ahead and give it a like, and share with someone else that plays in 1.14. And tell me what you guys think about the change to the iron golem farms. Do you think they're just a little too fast, that they should kind of hold them back a little bit? Or do you think since they're kind of fast, do you think people would just build a really small one like this, and then they'll just create less leg in their world, and then there'll be less people complaining about 1.14? Tell me all that down in the comments. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!